Today we're playing Doomsday, but we're bringing over technology from Vintage to Legacy. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is Legacy Doomsday, and it's a pretty complicated deck. In fact, I often struggle with it. It's so difficult, but today we're going to master it together, and let's talk about how the deck works. It's named after its namesake card, Doomsday, a 3-mana black sorcery where you search your graveyard and deck for 5 cards, and you stack those 5 cards, and that becomes your library. Everything else is exiled. Okay. And then you lose half your life total rounded up. That is how the card works. And then after that, you want to draw through your deck using things like Brainstorm, Consider, or Ponder until you can find and play a Thassa's Oracle, which says that if its devotion is more than the number of cards you have left in your library, you win the game. That is how the deck works. And I said it was incredibly difficult. I made it sound easy. It's actually a very difficult deck to pilot because you have to think about what your opponent might be doing against you, how to best beat it, and things like that. But we'll get more into that as we play our league today. Let's talk about some of the changes. So when you look at the mana base, you have a Cavern of Souls that's been around for some time now that makes your Thassa's Oracle uncounterable against blue decks. We like that. And then you have a slew of fetch lands, an Undercity Sewers, a relatively new upgrade within the last year, and 4 copies of Underground Sea. You might be thinking, yeah, this seems pretty stock. It's not! That's the crazy thing. Up until recently, the mana base has included a basic island and a basic swamp that are no longer in there. Why wouldn't we be playing those today? Well, when you look at Vintage Doomsday, it only plays the lands in front of you minus the Cavern of Souls. So why are we making this change? Well, it makes it so that way you can cast your Doomsday more efficiently. Because when you were playing Basic Island and Basic Swamp, you also had to play Cabal Ritual in order to support Doomsday. Well, now you can cast Doomsday off of every land in your deck that isn't Cavern of Souls. So you're no longer playing cards like Cabal Ritual just to support Doomsday. And that's a change that has come from the Vintage deck list that I personally love. I played Vintage Doomsday at Eternal Weekend this past year and just missed top 8. The deck is so powerful. And now we're borrowing some of that technology. So the first upgrade is in the mana base. The next change is that the deck list has been playing Consider for some time now. But when it first debuted, Deep Analysis was the card that you often paired with it. Up until recently, people have been cutting Deep Analysis, deciding that it opens you up to too much interaction and it's not worthwhile. Well, Legacy has sped up a lot. And with Legacy speeding up, you now need to open yourself up a little bit for faster wins. And that makes sense to me. So the pile with Deep Analysis and Consider is actually pretty simple. So let's say you cast Doomsday and you only have 1 card left in your hand. It could be Street Wraith, for example, or an Edge of Autumn. You would tap your 1 mana that you have left, and then you would cycle Edge of Autumn or Street Wraith, and you would draw Consider. So that's the first card in your pile that you would draw. You then play Consider, surveilling away Deep Analysis. So that would be the 4th card going to the graveyard. You would then draw Lion's Eye Diamond, which is card number 3. You would play the Lion's Eye Diamond, discard your non-existent hand at this point because you only had 1 card in hand in this hypothetical scenario anyway, and you would make 3 blue. You now use 2 of that blue to flashback Deep Analysis. Okay, so now you have 1 blue left. You draw into Cavern of Souls and play Thassa's Oracle. Okay. But what if you've already made your land drop? You can just grab a Lotus Petal instead. So this Consider win with Deep Analysis allows you to win on very few resources. We like that. It's very similar to how Vintage would use Gush. But that's not the only change. The biggest change, in my opinion, and the change that I love the most, is in the sideboard with 3 copies of Murktide Regent. The team that I worked with for Vintage Eternal Weekend, we came to the conclusion that Vintage was really weak to a resolved Murktide Regent. So most Doomsday deck lists at the time played 1 in the sideboard. We went up to 3. And in some matchups, we even boarded out the Doomsday part of the deck and just became Murktide control. Well, when you look at the sideboard now, that is now a possibility in Legacy where you have Murktide Regent and Force of Negation against combo decks. So, for example, I'm just pointing this out there. I'm not sure if I'll actually do it in game. but you could board in all 15 cards against a deck like Oops All Spells, and then just board out Doomsdays and everything else, and just be a highly efficient control deck that has Borrowglyph and Murktide Regent to close out the game. And I mentioned Oops All Spells because that's a matchup where you would like your Leyline of the Voids, but also because it's a matchup where if you build your Doomsday pile and pass, they could actually use Undercity Informer or Balustrade Spy to deck you. And that is a concern. So it's a matchup where that's possible, and I'm just saying that's pretty good. And when you look at the top of the Legacy metagame, one thing that we found when comparing Vintage to Legacy when I was testing for Eternal Weekend is that the tempo decks of the format couldn't answer a Murktide Regent because there is no Swords to Plowshares or anything like that. Well, Legacy right now is a lot of Dimir decks at the top. You have Dimir Reanimator, Dimir Tempo. None of those decks can answer Murktide Regent, but also, even if they could, hypothetically, what are the odds that they left in removal spells against Doomsday? Pretty low, right? Or if they did, it's like a fatal push, which doesn't answer Murktide Regent anyway. So I think that this is a brilliant change by the Doomsday community, and I am excited today to show off this deck. By the way, this is a donation deck from Tyler Wise. Tyler, thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Tyler loves Doomsday and wanted to see it today, and we're going to make it happen. So if you're like Tyler and you want to see more Doomsday, like, comment, subscribe, get that view count up. I love playing Doomsday. However, for some reason, my Doomsday videos just don't get high view counts, so I'm not rewarded for uploading it, even though I love casting Dark Ritual. So like, comment, subscribe, support the channel, get that view count up. And without any further ado, let's play some Legacy Doomsday. I'll see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We are on the play with Legacy Doomsday. We've opened up the namesake card and a cycler. I think we keep this because I could even put Force of Will on top, and then I'll have Force of Will back up on turn 1 into a turn 2 win. We'll play Flooded Strand, Lotus Petal. We'll play another copy of Lotus Petal, Sacrifice. This is actually a great game for showing you the deep analysis package too. I'll show you why if this Doomsday resolves, but so I would put Force of Will as my top card, and then underneath that you can build the Consider package, and it looks like our opponent has their own copy of Force of Will here. I could try to cycle the Street Wraith into a Force of Will here, or a Daze. I have 4 Dazes in my deck, so we actually have 8 hits. I will cycle Street Wraith. Or I'll take another Dark Ritual. I guess the first Dark Ritual, but that means I can Doomsday again next turn. Our opponent plays their own copy of Underground Sea. No! You opened up on Force of Will Thoughtseize? What kind of bully are you? Ah, what a mean person. Our opponent exiled a Preordain, which is interesting. I'm trying to think of what deck this might be that has Force of Will Thoughtseize Preordain. Doomsday comes to mind, but most Doomsday lists... Ooh, we ripped Dark Ritual. Let's play it. Doomsday? But the Preordain is just very odd to me. Alright, so Doomsday resolved. I mean, I could build the Consider pile. I just don't know if it's right against what our opponent's doing. Like, instead, should I now be building a pile that just is like fetch lands and Cavern of Souls and double Oracle? What are they playing is the real question. I don't know. So we want the Oracle. I think I want the Cavern of Souls. We likely want a fetch land and Underground Sea. And then maybe a Cycler? Is it crazy to want Edge of Autumn? I think this is going to be my pile. The bottom card will be Underground Sea. And then Thassa's Oracle above that. Cavern of Souls, Edge of Autumn, Polluted Delta. We'll pass the turn. One of the toughest things about playing Doomsday, in my opinion, is trying to figure out what the opponent's doing and then building the best possible pile to beat all the different variables that your opponent could be up to. It's a very challenging deck to play correctly. I've gotten better and better at it if you go back and watch, but my original videos where I played Doomsday were not very pretty. It was just a lot of play mistakes. So it's a deck where it rewards you for the more you play, but it can be very punishing as well. All right, so I don't know what they're playing. My gut would tell me Dimir Reanimator, but I'm not sure if that's actually accurate. But I don't believe Dimir Reanimator plays Preordain. Preordain to me says another combo deck. If they're a combo deck, I probably want Force of Negation. And if they are a combo deck, I believe you're allowed to sideboard out a couple copies of Lotus Petal. After the 2 copies of Lotus Petal, we'll board out Street Wraith and 1 more copy of Edge of Autumn. So we'll take out 1 of each cycler. It does reduce your ability to convert wins easily, but it allows you to increase your blue count by keeping more blue cards in the deck. And I think if they're an opposing combo deck, you don't necessarily need to be as fast as possible. I say that, and then I open up a turn 1 Doomsday with Force of Will back up. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Underground Sea. Ponder. They shuffled on the Ponder. Another Brainstorm. I think I want to leave the Misty in my hand because it fetches out an Underground Sea. So after we build our pile, it's 1 less card you need to clear. The punish is if we somehow get Wastelanded. Force of Negation, exiling Force of Negation. I will Force of Will, exile Deep Analysis. I don't think we're building a Lion's Eye Diamond pile anyway. Doomsday. It resolves! Alright, we want Thassa's Oracle. We would like an Underground Sea. I still don't know what they're playing. Like, this could be the Doomsday Mirror. I have no clue. We'll put Cavern of Souls in there. Edge of Autumn. And should I put a Lotus Petal in? Because I believe a Lotus Petal allows me to win next turn. So I would draw for turn. Yeah, I believe this wins next turn, assuming that the Petal resolves. We'll put Underground Sea on the bottom. Thassa's Oracle. Cavern of Souls. Edge of Autumn, Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. So I don't think you need... So, like, the question there I have is, should Edge of Autumn be the top card? I don't know. And it looks like we're actually playing the Doomsday Mirror. Like, if you are playing against a deck with Wasteland, and they Wasteland you here, having the Edge of Autumn be your top card, I think is slightly worse than having the Lotus Petal. I don't feel super strongly about it, but it was something I was thinking about. They play Polluted Delta, they have 4 cards in their hand. And now a Brainstorm. Okay. I'll play the Lotus Petal, and I'll play Brainstorm. This is going to leave Underground Sea as my bottom card. I'll put back Brainstorm, Misty Rainforest. We'll play Cavern of Souls. I'll say Wizard. But I now have 3 cards left in my deck, so we'll use the Edge of Autumn to sacrifice the Underground Sea, and this will draw one of the cards we brainstormed away. That now means I have 2 Devotion, and the Thassa's Oracle is now uncounterable with 2 Devotion, and the mana value is 2. Alright, I feel like we got away with one this match. My hands were very good. Plus, like, the Dark Ritual draw in game 1 was insane. But that's what you need to happen sometimes in order to get match wins. We just beat the mirror match. It's pretty cool. 4 more matches left to go. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Okay, time for the second round. We are on the play. I faced this person about 2-ish weeks ago where I was playing the Epic Storm without blue, and they were on the Epic Storm with blue, and they had one of the best brainstorms I've ever seen. So we're looking to get even today. I don't know if they're still playing TES, but I have to assume they're on a combo deck. I've opened up a hand where if this Cavern of Souls was a fetch land, I would keep this all day. However, it's not, so we will mulligan. Okay. I think we'll keep this, but I'm not excited about it. They take a mulligan to 5. I am not going to play Flooded Strand on turn 1 Because it's actually weird. The fetch lands you choose to play tell a story. And when I constructed my deck today, I chose to play 3 Flooded Strand because Flooded Strand usually means that you're on a fair deck. I mean, my username being Bryant_Cook, maybe that doesn't give the right message, but most people, Flooded Strand equals fair. You think 4-color, up the beanstalk control, things like that, or Stifle Knot. Misty Rainforest is a fetch land that I play in Storm decks. I also just played out a Lotus Petal. So our opponent, who knows that I play the Epic Storm, will assume that I'm on a Turbo Fast deck, and here they are playing a Polluted Delta. So this is not the Epic Storm, because the Epic Storm doesn't play Polluted Delta. They might be on something else today. But you want to send your opponent a message, and that's what I'm trying to do here. We'll keep the Ponder. Play Flooded Strand. And now the jig is up. They know that I'm not playing the Epic Storm. Would I like another copy of Force of Will? Probably. Pass the turn. Because now I have Force of Will, exiling Thassa's Oracle, and then next turn I have Dark Ritual hardcast Force of Will. They find their own copy of Undercity Sewers. Is this another... It is! It's another Doomsday mirror match. How about that? This league will be nothing but 5 Doomsday mirrors trying to prove that I am the ultimate Doomsday pilot. Okay. They play an Underground Sea, so they did not find a fetch land for their Brainstorm, so they are Brainstorm locked. We'll grab our own copy of Underground Sea. Polluted Delta. Okay. So we are stuck waiting to find Doomsday at the moment. And they're drawing through their Brainstorm. We found it. So the question is, am I supposed to try to jam here, or should I pass the turn? We know that they're stuck. I don't have double Force of Will backup, so I think I'm going to pass. Because if they go for it, I have double force, and then I could untap in Doomsday. But if I go for it first, I only have 1 counter spell up. And that could be bad. They play another Lotus Petal. I'll just take a draw. Ah, it's another land. We'll play Polluted Delta and pass. They're just drawing and passing. Okay. They have 6 cards. I just keep on drawing nothing but lands. So in my head, I don't want to fetch, because when you do that, I'm pulling cards out of my deck for this Thassa's Oracle. But maybe I should. I only have 2 fetchables left. And they're just drawing and passing up to 7. We'll grab Underground Sea. We'll fetch. Grab another Underground Sea. So the only land that taps for mana left in my deck is Cavern of Souls. I can't draw blue cards. I just can't do it. We'll play Lotus Petal. So in theory, I could cast Doomsday, Force of Will, Dark Ritual, Force of Will, and pay for a Daze. If they have double Daze, I'm in trouble. But their hand would have to be Force of Will, double Daze, which seems unlikely. I'll play Doomsday. They Force of Will, exiling Thassa's Oracle. I will also Force of Will, exiling Thassa's Oracle. Doomsday on the stack. Our opponent just wrote a message. We're both cheating on the Epic Storm. Yeah, it would appear so. They Force of Will, exiling Daze. I will Dark Ritual. And I will play Force of Will the hard way for 5 mana. They have 3 cards left in their hand. They had triple Force of Will. Okay. They have 1 card left in their hand, and I have none. They draw for turn, and now they have 2 cards. They had to exile Deep Analysis, which would have been a card they wanted to keep because it would be a card that could get them a head-on card advantage. They play Lion's Eye Diamond. Essentially a blank card here. Edge of Autumn. I'll float a black. Actually, should I hold it in case I draw another Doomsday? I'll pass. Our opponent just draws and passes. Okay. They have not found a Doomsday yet either. We have Thoughtseize. Let's see what they're up to. Target you. Force of Will, Edge of Autumn. They found all 4 Force of Wills. We'll take their Force of Will. If they draw Doomsday, they win now. I'm going to cycle my Edge of Autumn. Because they're in a spot where they can just convert a win very easily, and I'm not. We find Ponder. I'll play it. We'll shuffle Double Daze Flooded Strand. I don't want that. Okay, I cannot play the Force of Will. I am short on mana here. And they just draw and pass. Personal Tutor. So if I play this, I take down my Force of Will shield. I'm not willing to do that. I'm going to just pass the turn. Dark Ritual. Doomsday! I will hardcast Force of Will. That's twice this game I've played Force of Will the old-fashioned way. They cycle Edge of Autumn, and their Doomsday has been countered. We drew our own Lion's Eye Diamond. Not a great draw. I'll play Personal Tutor. Personal Tutor on the stack. It resolves. We will grab Doomsday. And then I will play Lion's Eye Diamond. One of the few cards our opponent could have drawn last turn was something like a Thoughtseize, and I don't want to make Thoughtseize live, so I'm just going to play out the diamond here. They play a land. I will cast Doomsday. I honestly would love if this league was just 5 Doomsday mirrors. I think it would be the greatest. All right, we'll put Thassa's Oracle in there. We probably want the Cavern of Souls, Deep Analysis, and I'm just thinking out loud here. What about a Thoughtseize? So I could play Consider. I should probably select the Consider, huh? And then a Thoughtseize. So I would draw Consider for turn, mill over Deep Analysis, and then I would draw Thoughtseize. I would Thoughtseize them, and then I could flashback Deep Analysis into the win. Does that work? Or is that too many cards? So I draw Consider. There's 4 cards left in deck. I mill over Deep Analysis, so that was card number 3. I draw Thoughtseize, which is card number 2. And then Cavern of Souls, Oracle are still in the deck. I believe this works. Wait, hold on. No, because I draw Consider for turn, mill Deep Analysis, draw Thoughtseize. Yeah, this works. Okay. Cavern of Souls can be the bottom. Thassa's Oracle, Thoughtseize, Deep Analysis, Consider. Pass the turn. Please don't kill me. Pretty please don't kill me. I'm sure those of you watching at home are like, Bryant, I don't want you to play 5 Doomsday mirrors. I want to see Murktide Regent. I get it. I would also like to do the cool thing today. But I think it would be even cooler to play 5 mirror matches for the memes. All right, so we'll play Consider. Goodbye, Deep Analysis. I will now play Thoughtseize down to 4 life. Their last card in hand was a Cavern of Souls. I'll make 3 blue with Lion's Eye Diamond. Deep Analysis targeting me. Oh, another cool thing is if we play 5 mirror matches, I might be able to Deep Analysis targeting you for the win. That would be pretty cool. We'll say Wizard. And Thassa's Oracle. That was a sweet game. I like that quite a bit. Once again, we'll bring in Force of Negation. Board out 1 of each Cycler, and then 2 copies of Lotus Petal. I love that the deck plays more like Vintage Doomsday now. This is definitely more my speed than what the lists were like before. Props to the community that's been working on the deck to get it to this point. It even has 4 cyclers like the Vintage builds do, but Vintage you have 4 copies of Street Wraith and only 0 Edge of Autumn. Legacy you have a 2-2 split. In Vintage you can't really play Edge of Autumn just because you're a Gush deck. And Gush requires you to return 2 islands to your hand, so you can't afford to be sacrificing them. So they play 4 Street Wraith instead. But I love the 4 cyclers. For a while, some people had gone down to 2, and I never really liked that. I felt like the deck was trying to be too much of a control deck. 5 lands, huh? Don't think we want that. I'll keep this bottom a Flooded Strand, Polluted Delta, Lotus Petal. The worst thing that could happen to me right now is a turn 1 Doomsday. And they have it. No! Ah, brutal. This is the downside of not keeping a force in your hand. I'm just dead. I mean, I boarded up to 8 of them. But I don't think you're supposed to mulligan this. Like, this hand is very good. So I don't know how I would possibly win this now. Because their pile is going to beat me. I guess I would have to draw Force of Will in order to buy time, and then I'd have to draw into Doomsday. Like, even drawing my own Doomsday here would not be fast enough. So I guess I would need Force of Will, and then to draw Doomsday. Or, hypothetically, we could stall them long enough to Deep Analysis them for the win. I drew Force! Oh my, is it happening? Is it happening? Thoughtseize you? I would love to Deep Analysis targeting you for the win. That would make my year. Let's go. Ooh. They had if they're playing Consider, they had the Consider win on turn 1. I think I'm supposed to take Street Wraith. I might just be dead to a Cycler pile anyway, though. They already have the Cavern of Souls in hand. They cycle. Cavern. 3 cards left. Now they Edge of Autumn. Yeah, I'm dead. Edge of Autumn again. Into Oracle. So they left in 4 cyclers, which means, let's see how they sideboarded. Did they board out the diamond? They did. They boarded out diamond, which means they probably also boarded out the deep analysis. They boarded into Dothy Voidwalkers. Interesting. I mean, I guess I could board out the Lion's Eye Diamond pile. I just don't know if it's correct. Like, basically, you would board out Lion's Eye Diamond plus Deep Analysis for 2 more cyclers, which could be right. So we would take out the Diamond and Deep Analysis. Let's try it. I mean, I'm not claiming to be an expert here. Maybe this is a better board strategy. On the play for game 3. Holy moly. What a hand. I guess this is why you play Doomsday, right? Just having all these. We will Flooded Strand, go grab Underground Sea, Thoughtseize. They have quite the hand as well. Alright, so let's think through this. If I take Force of Will, they have double backup, so I'm not supposed to go for it. I think I'm supposed to take the Force of Will, because if they find Doomsday, my Force of Negation stumps their whole hand. I'll play out the Lotus Petal, pass the turn. They play Flooded Strand, and it looks like they're not going to Ponder. They're going to wait for the Undercity Sewers. Personal Tutor, so that could grab a Thoughtseize, or it could be my pitch card for Force of Negation. I'll hold it. They surveil away Street Wraith, Polluted Delta, and now they play Ponder. They do not shuffle, and now they're fetching with Polluted Delta. And another Ponder. Yep. So you might be saying, why not Daze here? I need Daze to protect my Doomsday. So that is not a thing I'm interested in. If I could draw something good, I might be able to force through here. Another Force of Negation was not what I had in mind. Alright, we will pass. We're both stuck in a similar pattern right here, where neither of us can go for it. I mean, they don't know what my hand is, but I know that we have the same configuration at the moment. They can now hardcast a Force of Negation, which is good for them. We'll play Polluted Delta, pass the turn. In step, we will fetch. I'll grab my Undercity Sewers. I don't think I need another land here. I will surveil away Underground Sea. Thoughtseize, that was good. Target you. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do here. I will now Daze. Magic Online is lagging. I will Daze the Force of Negation, picking up Undercity Sewers. Thoughtseize. They drew another Force and another Daze. So their draws have been pretty good. I'll get rid of Force of Will because this protects their Doomsday. And then I'll play the Undercity Sewers. I don't need Misty Rainforest. I wonder if this is actually a spot where I should personal tutor for Thoughtseize. I think it is. We'll personal tutor. I'll grab Thoughtseize, and we'll pass. So their hand before they draw is Edge of Autumn, Force of Negation, Daze, and a Dark Ritual. They draw Ponder. They do not shuffle with Ponder. Interesting. If you have another Force on top of your deck, I will be sad. They could have hid the good cards on top. They took a Brainstorm. We'll take the Force of Negation. I'll play Dark Ritual and Doomsday. In fact, another Daze on top would also be very bad for me. It resolves. Okay. So, how do I want to do this? We need at least one Oracle. And I could just build a 4-cycler pile here. The downside would be that I can't beat a Force of Will that they find. Where if I build a Brainstorm pile, I could, but then if I have to force a Negation on their turn, Brainstorm doesn't convert to a win. But I guess that doesn't make sense, so maybe I should build a Brainstorm pile. So I'm just trying to think through this. So Cavern of Souls, put a Brainstorm in there, Street Wraith, and Street Wraith. Because me going to 6 life, I don't have to sacrifice my lands in order to do anything. So these are the 5 cards. Brainstorm, Cavern of Souls, Street Wraith, Oracle. I would draw Street Wraith for turn. I would cycle. I would draw Street Wraith for turn. I would cycle. And now I draw Brainstorm. And nope, that doesn't work. This is one too many cyclers. So what is the best thing I could have there? No, it's not too many cyclers. Because it, like, I would be, hold on. So, because I brainstorm, no, that still doesn't work. Because I have to put 2 cards back, so I guess I could, like, put a Daze into the pile, or a Thoughtseize. So if I do the Thoughtseize, I would go to 2 life. So I would draw Street Wraith, cycle it, brainstorm, put back double Force of Negation, and then this works. Okay. My opponent with twice as much time as me, they're probably like, Bryant is such an idiot. He can't figure this out. It's taking him this long. And opponent, you would be right. But, you know, I'm doing my best here. Cavern of Souls on the bottom. Thoughtseize, Oracle, Brainstorm, Street Wraith. We will pass the turn. Our opponent plays Dark Ritual. That's fine by me. So I'm guessing their top card is Doomsday. I will Force of Negation, exiling Force of Negation. We know all 4 cards they have left. They cycle Edge of Autumn, and now they brainstorm. What stinks is I actually can't convert into a win on my turn. So if this Doomsday resolves, they win. They daze. I'm going to pay for daze here. And Doomsday's counter. That's very good for me. Okay. My next card is Brainstorm. I'm going to pass. I'm going to respond. I will cycle Street Wraith. We'll draw the Brainstorm. Brainstorm in response. I have no cards in hand. We'll put Thoughtseize and then Oracle, and then they can look at my Cavern of Souls. If they have Consigned to Memory, we lose. But I don't think I'm supposed to play around it. I'll say Merfolk. Actually, I've been saying Wizard. Let's not change it. We'll say Wizard. Because if I change it and then they have it, we'll know why. So I'll say Wizard. We'll play Thassa's Oracle. And we get the match. That's exciting. All right, we've defeated Doomsday twice. We are now 2-0 in this Legacy League. 3 matches left. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. It is time for the 3rd match. We are on the draw, and I have opened up a turn 1 Doomsday with Daze backup. We're facing the current Magic Online trophy leader, who's been playing a lot of Oops All spells, which makes me very nervous. But they don't always play Oops All spells. Sometimes they'll play Doomsday or Tempo decks, Painter. So they have a wide range. So I've decided to keep my hand. That said, our opponent has taken a mulligan to 4. So clearly, if I had mulligan to Force of Will, we would be in a better spot, because I do believe that they're playing Oops All spells today. So I have to hope that their 4-card hand does not kill me on turn 1, and then we can untap Dark Ritual Doomsday with Daze backup. All right, they've selected their 4 cards. Please don't be dead. Uh-oh. They have turn 1 Thoughtseize, so they can take my Doomsday. And it is, in fact, Oops All spells. They take my Doomsday. Not what I wanted. We draw Thoughtseize. I like that. We will fetch with the Scalding Tarn. Grab Underground Sea. How does it feel to be discarded? Good? I guess we'll take their land. I don't care about Jack-o'-lantern. Pass the turn. They drew another land. Okay. They play the Jack-o'-lantern. We draw another land. I'll play Flooded Strand and pass. So I think I'm going to grab the Surveil land here. I could be punished if I draw a Brainstorm afterwards. They exile my Doomsday. It happens. On the end step, we'll activate the Flooded Strand. Magic Online is a little bit laggy right now. I'm trying to bear with it. We'll grab Undercity Sewers and Surveil. Another Daze. I think I'll get rid of that. I don't think that's a card I really want at the moment. Brutal. We're just not drawing very well here. Pass the turn. So they know 4 of my 5 cards. They play out a Lotus Petal. And they pass. Hey, we drew Brainstorm. I like that. Alright, we'll play the Brainstorm. We'll put back a pair of Lotus Petals. Play Underground Sea. Pass the turn. So now I have double Force of Will available. They find a 4th mana. Undercity Informer. I believe I would like to hardcast a Force of Will here. I'll play Dark Ritual. And then we'll tap Underground Sea for a blue and Force of Will the old-fashioned way. Man, this Doomsday League is just crazy. Nothing but hardcast Force of Wills. They're at 9. We could seriously start to think about Street Wraith Beatdown. Am I crazy enough to go for it here? They're at 9. Street Wraith is literally just a 3-turn clock. This is... I think I'm going to keep it. Dark Ritual. I am the beatdown. Don't you forget it. Bryant Cook is back. Let's go. Oh, they had another Undercity Informer. Oh, Force of Will. That makes me less excited about that Ponder. Is your last card Pact of Negation? No way. That's crazy. Ah, yeah, we lose. Ah, wow. Just perfects on a mulligan to 4. You got me. Impressive draws. It happens. We'll bring in Force of Negation. We definitely want Leyline of the Void. We are not the combo deck in this matchup, so I do think we'll be taking out the Lion's Eye Diamond Deep Analysis stuff. We're at 66 cards. We could probably board out a few copies of Lotus Petal, the Cavern of Souls, one of each Cycler, and I'll try -1 Personal Tutor. Another option that I'm just going to talk out loud about is you could theoretically cut a Dark Ritual or two, just because you want a high blue count. And you could keep in Deep Analysis Personal Tutor instead. I don't think I like that, though. I'm going to submit this. We are on the play. I mean, I'm not going to mulligan, sure. If you can beat my turn 1 Dark Ritual Doomsday with Force of Will backup as Oops All spells, you earned it. They kept 6. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. Alright, so we want the Thassa's Oracle. And I want both Lotus Petals. Edge of Autumn, Street Wraith. So the idea here would be we untap, we cycle twice. Actually, hold on. Do I only need 1 cycle here? I think I only need 1 cycle. So I draw a card for turn, which could be Edge of Autumn. We draw the Lotus Petal. So I guess instead of another Cycler, I could put in a Daze to have backup. So I draw Street Wraith, cycle Street Wraith into Lotus Petal, play Brainstorm. We have to put 2 back. I think this still works. Alright. Expand this a little bit. Daze is the bottom card. Thassa's Oracle and Street Wraith. Pass the turn. Interesting. Just untapped white land go. Do you have like a silence? We'll cycle Street Wraith. Play Brainstorm. They're thinking about it here. Undercity Sewers and I guess the blue card doesn't matter all that much. We'll put back Daze. Play Lotus Petal. We'll play another Lotus Petal. And now they're going to play Silence. I can't believe I soul read Silence there. I did not know that they were playing Silence. It's just, why would you play an untapped white land there? And that's the read that I had. Like, I didn't look up this person's deck list at all. You might not believe me, but it's true. Okay, and we win game number 2. I think I'm going to submit the same configuration for the 3rd game. Game 3, we're on the draw. I will keep Leyline 1 and Leyline 2. So, I don't know what their answer is, if this will ever go into the battlefield. We're experiencing a little bit of a lag here. There we go. So, if they have something like Serenity, that would really hurt. But I have to imagine that most Oops All Spells decks, we saw the Witch Enchanter. If they have Serenity, they have it. But I don't expect them to have something that answers multiple cards. And drawing Force of Negation here was an incredible draw. We'll play Thoughtseize. And they have Serenity. How about that? We'll take the Serenity. Pass the turn. So now they have Fragmentize for my Leyline, but I have 2 of them. They play another Witch Enchanter, Lotus Petal, and Poxwalkers. Yep. So they have a creature to beat me down. The Undercity Informer could actually be a problem. with Doomsday because they could theoretically deck you. And I did not draw into a Doomsday, so we have to worry about Poxwalkers killing me. I'll put back the pair of Lotus Petals. We'll play Misty Rainforest. Pass the turn. Okay, we go to 15. They kill one Leyline of the Void. I'm fine with that. We'll grab Undercity Sewers. Surveil 1. I'm going to pass on the Force of Will here. I need to not die to Poxwalkers. Another land. Play Underground Sea and we'll pass. They attack for 3. I'll go to 11. Okay. There we go. I'll play land. The Doomsday will put me to 5. Actually, is it better to fetch first? Probably not. Doomsday puts me to 5. They attack. I guess it is better to fetch first because I couldn't Force of Will and fetch. So we'll grab Underground Sea. We'll play Doomsday. I will go to 5 life. We want Thassa's Oracle. We could probably put both Oracles in the pile and just in case something crazy happens. Edge of Autumn. Consider. Maybe the final Underground Sea for the Polluted Delta, or for the Flooded Strand. Is this crazy? Just want to think this through. So, I believe this works. I'll click Done. So the bottom card will be Underground Sea. And then 2 copies of Thassa's Oracle. Actually, hold on. Can I undo? So I'm just trying to think here. They have Undercity Informer. So what if my bottom card is Oracle? We'll put Underground Sea above that. And then this, I believe this works. I'm at 5. Pass the turn. This has not been a great league to showcase Murktide Regent out of the sideboard, but I believe this has been a pretty fun league, at least for me. And they pass. I will float a blue. We'll cycle Edge of Autumn. Play Consider. Keep the Thassa's Oracle. Play the Flooded Strand. And now we'll play Oracle. Trigger. Select the other Oracle, I guess. We win the match. How about that? We've defeated Oops All Spells and the current Legacy Trophy leader. We advanced to 3-0 in this Legacy League. How exciting. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Time for the 4th match. We are on the play, and I have some bad news for the audience at home. This is definitely another combo mirror. This person is in the Storm Discord. They talk a lot about ad nauseum tendrils and Doomsday and stuff like that. So we've opened up a hand here that I just don't think is keepable. We will get rid of it. This, though, more my speed. We will keep this one. We will get rid of the second copy of Personal Tutor. And I'm going to just pass the turn here. And it's unfortunate that my land is Flooded Strand. And you might be saying, why not play Personal Tutor on turn 1? Well, I don't need to show them that I'm playing Doomsday on the first turn. That's a big reason. But 2, even if I were to draw the Doomsday, I can't cast it. So that is the other thing that I'm considering here. We'll use Flooded Strand and we'll go grab the Undercity Sewers. I think I'm going to keep the Thassa's Oracle just because it's a blue card here. I'll play Ponder. We'll keep the other Ponder. And then I will fetch Underground Sea and Personal Tutor. We'll select Doomsday and pass the turn. They do not fetch on the end step, so that makes me wonder if they have a Surveil land in their deck. We'll see. Something I mentioned recently on the Eternal Glory podcast was how when I receive a lot of donation decks, they just so rarely have Surveil lands in them. Like, a lot of Legacy players are still very slow to adapt to a card printed within the last year. Like, the Surveil lands are just so powerful. Our opponent plays a Brainstorm. And it looks like they're going to miss their second land. Now they're going to their cleanup. Discards Dark Ritual. So this could be Ad Nauseam Tendrils. It could be Doomsday. I don't know. We will play Ponder. We find the Dark Ritual. Let's go. Alright. So I think I'm going to try to push here. Dark Ritual. If I get dazed, I'm going to be a little sad. But we're going to try the Doomsday. Alright. So that resolves. I think we want the extra Oracle, just in case. I don't know if we want Cavern of Souls, Edge of Autumn. Edge of Autumn. Like, in theory, I could also build, like, the deep analysis pile here. I just don't know if that's something I actually want. Maybe I should think this through, because maybe the deep analysis pile is right. So, let me unselect Edge of Autumns. So if I select Consider Deep Analysis, I don't think there's enough cards. That's the problem here. Because I have to mill the Deep Analysis, draw Cavern of Souls, and then, like, it might work if I don't put another Oracle in the pile, but then a discard spell beats me. And I don't want that to happen. That seems very silly. So I'm going to unselect the Consider. I wish I knew if they were Ad Nauseam Tendrils or Doomsday. Like, it would really matter a lot here with how I construct my pile. I guess we get to hide another card. So I guess I could put a Force of Will in the pile and make them think that I have triple force in my hand. I know that's something that Wonder Pro, aka Max Carini, talks about a lot, is deceiving your opponent with a hidden card. So I'm going to do this. We'll put the other Oracle on the bottom. Force of Will. Maybe I should have done Street Wraiths. I don't know. I think in hindsight, I was so worried. Okay, so I selected Edge of Autumn because I was thinking about what if our opponent resolves the Tendrils of Agony. I think, and then I was like, and then I can't cycle. But I think I set myself, or I built a pile that has resiliency in it, but that it loses that resiliency the second I sacrifice my lands. So I'm not sure if that was even the right move. All right, so they're Doomsday. 3 Doomsday mirrors. Wild League. If I was playing like the Epic Storm, I would not be very happy. Dark Ritual resolves. Lion's Eye Diamond, yes. And Doomsday. Am I crazy if I let this resolve? I think I'm going to let it go. Because if they have a cycler, like, let's talk about their hand. If they have Daze plus cycler here, I lose. Right? Like, that's not an unreasonable thing. Like, Daze or Force of Will plus cycler, I lose. But if I let this resolve, and then they try to cycle, crack Lion's Eye Diamond, I can just Force of Will whatever they're trying to draw into. And now they cycle Street Wraith. Oh, I wonder if I lose because they're just going to play Oracle with the Cavern already in play. Maybe I punted. Because now they can just play Oracle off the Cavern. Yeah, I think I messed up. So if they just go like land Oracle, I lose. No, they've already played a land. So how are you getting to Oracle here? I guess they're trying to get to... Alright, so... Oh, I see. Wow. Alright, I guess I outplayed myself here. And now they play Oracle. I didn't consider... I mean, this was a smart play by the opponent. Props to them. I did not consider just cycling into an uncounterable Oracle. So I guess I messed up by not countering the Doomsday. Good to know. We'll take out Lion's Eye Diamond, Deep Analysis, and then 2 Lotus Petals. I just learned something. That's good. But I would like to not learn anything else for the rest of this match. I would like to win the next 2 games. Yeah, I just did not consider Lion's Eye Diamond, Quad Cycler beats me. On the play for game number 2. I don't love this. But I mean, you have access to Doomsday, you have counter magic. I think I'll keep, but this is not a very exciting hand. I'll play Underground Sea and Ponder. I think we'll keep this and the Force of Negation. Just make sure that I don't lose. The opponent just plays Misty Rainforest and passes. We will do the same. So I have 4 lands, which isn't really what you want. But I don't want to... So you might be saying, why not play Personal Tutor here? You could play Doomsday next turn. Yes, you could. But I would be giving up double counterspell, and I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm going to just play a little bit more conservatively here and just pass the turn, surveil, and then reevaluate next turn. They play Verdant Catacombs. Okay. Undercity Sewers. I would love a Brainstorm, so I could convert the Cavern of Souls and Thassa's Oracle. Do I want Daze? I don't think I hate it. Let's take the Daze. I'll play Misty Rainforest. And I think you're actually supposed to fetch first and then Personal Tutor. Because hypothetically, what if your opponent has double Daze in their hand? And then you go to force something and they daze you twice, forcing you to shuffle away your Doomsday. I think that's a reason here to fetch first. And it's not like you gain anything by holding the fetch land anyway. You only have one Undercity Sewers. You have no Brainstorm, at least for the moment. Our opponent plays Underground Sea. Sure. And now they're fetching with Verdant Catacombs, Dark Ritual, Doomsday. I will attempt a Force of Negation, exiling Thassa's Oracle. They have 4 cards still in hand. They Force of Will, exiling Personal Tutor. I will Force of Will the Doomsday. Now they have 2 cards in hand. They're now going to Brainstorm in response to my Force of Negation. No way! No way! They found the Force! So our opponent's going to win this. I mean, I'm just going to concede. Because I'm drawing Doomsday, but I can't get into my pile. So they're going to get into their pile first, and then I end up losing. Okay, so I learned something in game number 1 where I misplayed. That loss was 100% on me. I just didn't ever consider the cycle Cavern of Souls plus Lion's Eye Diamond trick. And then here, our opponent just honestly drew a little bit better than we did, and that happens sometimes. They also played relatively well. So, yeah, I lost. It happens. We're now 3-1 with 1 match left. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. All right, time for the 5th and final match. Our opponent has revealed the Yorion Sky Nomad. I have no clue what they're playing, but I'm going to keep this hand. It is most likely our first match that is not a combo mirror match. Will I get to use the sideboard? I'm not sure, but hopefully we do. I will say that I have loved the mana base so far. That said, there's an asterisk because we have not faced a tempo matchup yet featuring Wasteland and Daze and, things like that. Okay, well, there's a Wasteland into Aether Vial. Sure. They have 4 cards. Undercity Sewers. I would like to play Thoughtseize. Another Wasteland in Solitude. We'll take the White Orchid Phantom. Pass the turn. So it's definitely Death and Taxes. 2 mana here. No way. Spirit of the Labyrinth? What a rip! Oh, and I was F6'd. I wasn't expecting Spirit of the Labyrinth, or else I would have cycled the Street Wraith in response. That hurt so much. Oh my. We'll play Undercity Sewers. Dark Ritual. I guess I can still cycle the Street Wraith on their turn. I'm going to pass. I need the Dark Ritual. In the face of double Wasteland, I'm pretty sure I want it. Alright, there goes my lands. And now I will go to 15. On the end step, we'll cycle the Street Wraith. I'll go to 13. We will untap. Daze. So this puts me to 12. Personal Tutor for Doomsday. I wonder if I'm already dead. Because I can't get into my pile against the Spirit of the Labyrinth. So I'm going to go to 9. Next turn I Doomsday. Actually, as of right now, I can still win. Our opponent drew a 3rd Wasteland. That hurts a lot here. That's not good. So they drew Wasteland, Spirit of the Labyrinth, and they have 1 unknown in their hand? Or do they have any unknowns? I'm not sure. But we'll go to 9 here. I don't think I'm capable of winning anymore. I needed that Underground Sea. Okay, so we'll draw the Doomsday. So if I go Dark Ritual Doomsday, I can't convert into a win with Spirit of the Labyrinth on the table. So I've lost this game. We'll go to the next one. That was not good. I definitely felt the lack of a basic land there. But I don't know if having a basic ultimately would have mattered. So the question is, do we want to be on the Murktide Regent plan? Or Boroglyph? I don't know. That is my real answer. Because they probably leave in some number of Solitudes anyway, just for Thassa's Oracle. Because you have to clear the whole pile in order to win against their deck trying to tax your draw effects. So I think you're probably supposed to just resubmit here. Which is not very fun, because if you're watching this video, you want to see Murktide Regent and Boroglyph, but we haven't had the matchups for them. So I don't think I'm going to try to just board these in for the sake of doing it for the video. And instead, I'm going to just try to submit a deck list that's capable of winning this match. All right, on the play, I will keep. We will play Scalding Tarn and Fetch. Grab Underground Sea, play Lotus Petal, and Personal Tutor. We'll select Doomsday, pass the turn. Our opponent Wastelands or Underground Sea, and now we'll draw the Doomsday. Fetch. Okay, and now Dark Ritual, Doomsday. So I could build a pile that wins here. The question is, do I want to open myself up to Surgical Extraction? Or I can just pass. I'm also worried about Mindbreak Trap, so I think I'm going to play it safe and just not play into that stuff. I'll put an Oracle, Underground Sea, Street Wraith, and maybe Edge of Autumn. This way I can clear my entire pile next turn. Underground Sea on the bottom. And then I don't know if it really matters the rest of it, but we'll do Oracle and then the rest. Pass the turn. Plains. Misty Rainforest. We'll cycle Street Wraith. Fetch with the Misty Rainforest. Grab the Underground Sea. Float a blue. Use the Edge of Autumn. And Thassa's Oracle. Alright, so the key is just winning before Spirit of the Labyrinth can hit the table. I got it. That is how you win at Magic. Once again, I don't think we're supposed to submit. I don't think you're supposed to sideboard, I should say. I feel bad because I love the Murktide Regent plan. It's just we faced 4 combo matchups, and then Death and Taxes where you're not supposed to do anything. So, I don't know what else to say. Game 3, we opened up Force of Will with, you know, quite the hand. I'm going to keep this. Turn 1 Doomsday plus Force of Will back up. And if we draw something like a Lotus Petal, this is even a win. They play a Plains. Okay, well, this is a very good hand. We will fetch, grab Underground Sea, Dark Ritual, and Doomsday. I believe we want to put the other Oracle in the pile, just in case we need to exile this Thassa's Oracle to Force of Will. Or we want to put another land. And then we have to think about what could go wrong here. Like a chain of Wastelands could be really bad for me. So what if we put another land and another sea in here? So the pile's going to be Oracle, fetch land, double Underground Sea, and maybe another Street Wraith. I think I like this. So we can put all of the lands on the bottom. The Thassa's Oracle and Street Wraith. And now we'll pass the turn. They did not play a Wasteland. I believe we just win now. We will Force of Will exiling Thassa's Oracle. So I even have Days for Solitude here. We'll cycle Street Wraith. We'll draw the Oracle. I can now fetch. This pulls one of the lands out of the deck. And now we just play the Oracle with Days back up for Solitude. Trigger the Thassa's Oracle. We win the match. So we went 4-1, only losing the mirror match to somebody who honestly just outplayed me. I did not consider the pile that they won with in game 1. So what did I think of the deck list? I love the main deck. Also, before I forget, thank you again to Tyler Wise for today's donation deck. If you would like to see your favorite combo deck here at the Epic Storm, go to theepicstorm.com/donation decks to submit what you want to see, like Tyler did. And Tyler, I really do hope that you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that we didn't really get to showcase Murktide Regent and Barrowglyph. That said, the main deck was chef's kiss. I honestly loved it. I wouldn't change a single card here. I loved the deep analysis, consider, Doomsday. Like, everything here felt so good. Like, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Days, plus 4 Forceville felt really lean, which is something you didn't get to do when you were playing the Cabal Ritual package. So I loved it. I would submit this 60 to a large tournament tomorrow. The sideboard, we didn't get to use it. So I could see Barrowglyph not being right, but we didn't face Moonstompy, which is where this card shines. We didn't face the deck that's at the pinnacle of the format. In Murktide Regent, very good against those Dimir decks. We didn't face those either. So I don't have strong opinions, but obviously I liked Leyline of the Void and Force of Negation because we used those. that's all I've got for today. I can't believe this video is essentially oops all mirror matches, really. Maybe that's what I'll use for the title. But thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, keep storming. Hey you, yeah you, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.